Incredible! No! I hunger for plasma. I took it through my hands. I could feel it coursing through his skin right into my fingers. I must keep trying to rid myself of this horrible need for plasma. I feel a hunger. I hunger. I need more plasma. Oh, no! In my country, we eat plasma. No!
I was ready to go, but I made that as the set intro video, so it just automatically play because I hate when it's like we go live and then I'm scrambling and hit something. Oh, I'll get ahead of the game and I'll do that, and then I was like about 50 seconds and okay, I'm ready to go. I promote the show and it's still going. I don't know if we've ever got to the end of that clip when he's like, "What country are you from?" I love that clip. But hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 689th episode of the Geek First Podcast. I am the bad Hawk Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
Hey, my name is Dylan Muss.
I played that because, Dylan, it's kind of a Plasma Boys type of week now because we're doing this because we're going to get into a second. Taylor not here for a good reason. Kirkland not here for a bad reason. We'll get into that in a second. Yeah,
not justifiable at all.
No, I'll give a mini rant. And then tomorrow is me and Dylan. Obviously, when you listen on the podcast, it's always the day after. But on the podcast feeds, me and Dylan talking side quests. We've got lots of fun things to talk about as far as what we've been playing. We're both playing Resident Evil 6. So I was excited to talk to you about 2 and 4 because of my excitement. I'm just excited to talk to you more, I think, than ever about 6 because of just like how wild. Yeah, just like it just feels like when people talk about movies in the 70s or 80s that were greenlit and people were just like doing massive cocaine. Maybe that was happening with Res 6.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the aughts, so I feel like that calmed down. But that's just what I feel like this game is tuning a side quest because I'm excited to talk about everything. It's from like a different universe. It just feels like I went to a different multiverse. And it's like, oh, this is what Resident Evil's like here. So tune in for that, another conversation. Yeah. And then on Wednesday is myself and Dylan on Weekly Geek, so you can check that out.
Plasma.
Yeah, more plasma. And then for the people on the drafties, you can watch it live 6 p.m. PST on Thursday, which Kirk will have to be there. We're doing our after 9 for the Football League. We're going to be just talking about the season, talking about our draft, and then there's a bunch of films that have to watch. So we have to watch The Prestige, Dylan, because Maddie won a poll. And then I can't remember what happened. It's a punishment film. We have to watch Tusk. Have you watched Tusk before?
I've not, but I've heard the murmurs of such a film.
Yeah, it's a movie where Justin Long gets turned into a walrus. So I've seen it before. It's been a quick minute. And then also we're going to be talking, I will announce it in Discord because Maddie's going to bug me, but we're going to be watching The Replacements. That's my pick because I picked Dylan. Maddie does this poll of like pick who you're going to think is going to win the Super Bowl when the playoffs just start. It's not the finals, the pre-finals, the semifinals. It's just like, who do you think? You got all the teams. Who do you think? I picked the Seattle Seahawks, which did get the win tonight. This is a big deal for me, Dylan, because I am notoriously a Seattle Seahawks hater because they are the closest team to Canada. So I think every time the team's doing well or in a Super Bowl.
Well, to our part of Canada specifically.
Yes, of course. Yeah, for BC, yeah, Vancouver, Kelowna, yeah, our neck of the woods there. So good specification there. But I feel like all the time, there's people that never watch football. I'm seeing them walk around with the gear, and I get it. You want to support somebody, but I'm like, it's not even a Canadian team. Like, I understand the Olympics, but it's like, they're still Seattle, it's still America. So I always feel like I'm forced to cheer for this team, right? So I've never, even my father-in-law, that's one of his favorite teams, so I never have. But one of the players on there, Jackson Smith Njigba, he was on my draft list, so I got to watch. When I have people on my list, I usually watch their games, see how they're doing, and I just loved his play style, so I became a fan. And then there's this guy, Dylan, named Sam Darnold. You might hear about him for the next 50 years, because I'm about Kirkland about forever. He was, I don't know if you know this, Kirkland last year, just like F1, all of a sudden adopted football. He's like, oh, I'm a massive football fan. I love football. And he announced that the Vikings was going to be his team. Now, usually, it'd be like, okay, cool,
Where's
he's a
the
team.
Vikings from?
Minnesota. Minnesota.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But the problem is they're in my division, the Green Bay Packers. So of course Kirkland, he's like, oh, I watched a doc and I like this. But it's like, I feel like he just on purpose picked a team in my division to bug me when we lose them and that type of stuff, right? So they got to the playoffs last year and they lost. And the guy, Sam Darnold, the quarterback, they let him go because they wanted to go after a hot young drafty. And I said to Kirkland, I said, that seems odd. Like, you get to the playoffs, you got a sure thing. Why would you let this guy go? And we made a pizza bet. And I said, because they did that, the Vikings were going to make the playoffs, which happened. I got the pizza bet. So I've talked about that before. But this guy, Sam Darnold, got let go of a team last year that he got to the playoffs. They said, oh, no, you go somewhere else. He gets let go. And then he goes to the Seahawks, who go to win the Super Bowl. And that's the reason why Taylor's on trip. Kirkland was supposed to be in this cast. That's the reason Kirkland's not here. He knew, he already was mad that I was bugging about the pizza bet. He knows I'm going to bug this. I said, like, until we're in our 80s, every year I'm going to bring up, hey, you remember when your team let go that future Super Bowl winning quarterback? So tune in Thursday, because as long as Kirkland doesn't eat crow, or if he's not a coward, he's going to eat lots of crow on that cast.
Are you subjecting me and Taylor to this as well, or is this only when it's you two on a cast together?
You might hear mention of it, but I will just be like I'm not going to go a long rant.
I don't think I deserve to be punished for.
No. This is just the victory lap, Dylan, because I had all ready for him. I was watching this game. I've been waiting Dylan all season to rub this in his face because he's like, oh no, he was so confident. It's like, I don't know, man. You just started watching football. Maybe you should take a couple notes for me. And hey, the team I said was going to win the Super Bowl won it. So yeah, they won it.
Way to go, Tom Darnold. That's great.
Tom Darnold. Fuck the Patriots. Bad Bunny, great halftime show. Love the Bad Bunny. My most streamed Spotify artist for people that didn't know that. That was a good time. So yes, and what we also got was some Super Bowl trailers. So I laid out the week, so you got that going on. You can go back. I'm not going to spoil the winner until Side Quest, so I'll withhold that. But you can watch our final GM mode stream that happened this weekend. It was a spicy one. I'll say I'll say I did the stats, Dylan. It was the closest one yet. So lots of stuff in those last 5 weeks, so check out that. And then lots of good stuff on the Patreon. Me and Dylan should be recording our bread and butter for this month, so look out for that. And then next week, 2 things are starting for the tiers that they're on: the Resident Evil retrospectives and the Punisher retrospectives. So we got lots of good stuff going on the feeds. But let's get into it. And tonight we're just talking about the trailers. So probably like a nice quick hour cast, not too many news items, and some news items I'll save for Wednesday with me and Dylan are talking. And I thought we'd also save the what we're watching for Wednesday in case it's like a light news week. We can bally about what we've been putting on the tubes. But Dilmas, I want to start with the main headline here, because I did change it to maybe a bit of a clickbait sentence, but I feel like it is, in a full circle way, back to the Sam Darnold thing, pizza bets, right? A long time ago. And I don't know what caused this pizza bet. We at one point bet that you and Taylor said it was going to make Mandalorian Grogu $1 billion. And then me and Kirkland were on the ladder of the no. I can't remember, because we had that before the movie preview. Do you remember what spiced that up? What was it, the first?
I think it was a pretty innocuous thing where the movie had come up, and maybe someone said like, oh, this movie's going to bomb. And then I was like, what? It's Star Wars. It's going to do $1 billion. And Taylor's like, oh, yeah, I agree with you on that. And then it became a little spat. And then we're like, okay, we got to pizza bet this. And as things are approaching, I don't know how confident I am in that, but the pizza bet is there. So I'm just going to go fully behind it and hope it happens. At the worst case, I lose a pizza. Okay.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I can't remember when it was. It was sometime mid-halfway last year where they put out this trailer, that first one. I did make you watch it because I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. But the reason I just want to ask is that one, to me, it was a thing of when the trailer came out on I'd say the Star Wars community and the people we run with. It was very much like it didn't feel like that big first trailer, right? Kind of just felt like an announcement. So we thought, okay, maybe it's just they want to get it out there, spread the word that, hey, it's no longer a TV show. It's in the theaters now, right? And obviously, it's expectations. So I've been wrong many times. But last week on Travis Told You, Maddie asked me which Super Bowl trailer I was most excited for. And I said I was intrigued on the Mandalorian Grogu because I thought, well, that first trailer was kind of iffy. This is a big stage, obviously. Like Super Bowl last year is the most watched television thing of all time. So you got a lot of eyes on this, right? So I thought, you got to come in hot and heavy. You got to have something that's going to link the people. You got to have something that, man, Star Wars is back. It's been 7 years. I want to see it on the big screen. And this is what was crazy is usually I'm expecting some juicy trailer for us to talk about anything, something juicy to break down. And it's just a trailer of them, I guess, kind of parroting like a beer ad or a car ad where it's Mandalorian Grogu on a what is that called with you'd have horses, a sleigh, right? Yeah, it's a sleigh with oh man, I can't remember what they cut open. It's some Star Wars animal. I'm losing my cred here.
Well, I don't know the answer to that.
No, it's the thing. You remember in Empire when Han cuts it open and puts Luke in there to keep him warm?
Yeah.
He's like, I thought it smelled worse on the outside. Yeah, like Chanthas or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, this all we got M. We got them on the sleigh with these animals. They're going. Sam Elliott's narrating. The biggest thing in this trailer is Grogu takes the reins from Mando using the Force, and it's Mandalorian pen one, or it's Grogu pen one of these things, and it says in theaters May 22nd. Dylan, was flabbergasted. When I was watching the game, I was flabbergasted. I thought for sure the last tag would be like, watch the new trailer online. It wasn't. This was just it. This cost them $10 million, Dylan.
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So that's why I have to ask you, one, what do you think about this marketing so far? And yeah, you alluded to it, but how do you feel about that bet? Because I have bets with you, like the Alien vs. Predator. I know I'm losing that one. I was like, man, I felt confident, but now, how do you feel about that $1 billion number as we're getting closer? This movie's in May. It's right around the corner, really, you know?
Yeah, February, March, April. Okay, well, they'll
3
probably do
months,
another-
though?
Yeah,
know?
yeah, it's coming up pretty quick. Well, Travis, I'll say one of the funniest parts about this is that, yeah, but 2 hours ago, you were like, hey, Dylan, have you seen the Mandalorian trailer? I'm like, no, I haven't seen that yet. And then I put it on to watch it. And I'm like, oh, I literally saw this last week when I saw Send Help, and I already deleted it from my brain. That's how much of a lack of an imprint it made that I had seen it, but 7 days ago, and it already fled my mind. So I don't know what that's probably more of a crime against me than it is the trailer itself. That's just my horrible memory. But yeah, that's not a good sign. Really, that trailer is weird. And, obviously watching it a second time here, like just not a lot of dialogue or really any setup of like, here's the story, here's this like adventure you're going on. It's just like random slice of life Star Wars moments almost. Like it doesn't really seem like a movie. It just seems like Star Wars aesthetic or something, like how you're always putting on your YouTube like just vibes music,
the
things,
ambience,
like, your ambience music. It kind of just has like, it's like Star Wars ambience, which is not a movie that you put in the cinema. And then this trailer today, this teaser, whatever you want to call it, it's hard to call it a trailer or a teaser or anything. And it doesn't have any of that feeling at all. It just feels like some funny little bit that they sometimes do, not necessarily like a promotional thing. It's not something you'd expect to see at the Super Bowl of all things, which is like where all the money goes for this marketing budget stuff. So yeah, it seems like a really weird ramp up. And I guess, like, is any of this related to just all the switching up of things over at the Star Wars and like the higher ups and things like that? Is it just like a weird miscommunication thing, or is it just like, oh, this movie maybe isn't that stellar and it's hard to market it because it's nothing really that special in the first place?
I feel like it is that one, because the reason I just worried before, because my biggest concern with when we did the bet, if it would be $1 billion, I just was on the side of, are people gonna go to the theaters to pay for it, right? Because it's at home. I wasn't really worried about. I still thought the quality and that there'd be like big stars hoopla. I thought it would be there. I thought it'd be about the show, but I feel like it is. They just kind of feel like it is very similar to Moana, the Moana 2. If you remember, that was just a TV show that they cut up and put into a movie. But the difference is, like, that's a kid's family thing. And I feel like that's a lot easier to sell. Just like, well, kids are going to go have a good time with their family, get some popcorn, and that's it, right? And maybe that's their hope with this, but I feel like we've talked about this before, and we'll talk about in a second. Like, Mario's coming out, Minions coming out. I think there's something else, like even live action Moana. I think there's a lot of, like, the family movie markets that are already crossed off, right? We talk about all the time that movies are expensive now. If you go take everybody and you get everyone popcorn and drinks, that's like that's like a little trip out, So I feel like Grogu, I think they're maybe a little shaky on the quality of this movie. I think they are overhyping how big Grogu is now. I think at one point he was this, but I think now it's kind of cooled off, and I don't think he can produce what they're hoping for, and that's why I feel like they just don't know what to market with it, and I just don't know why. Like, just there has to be a cool action scene in this movie, right? Like, just pick 30 seconds of that, or pick something. Like, I feel like Grogu has to do something action related. Like, pick 30 seconds of that, and then boom, trailer. Like, I just feel like that does more. I feel like this is for the general audience person that's not for sure seeing this movie and not listening to this podcast. I feel like that's a forgettable. And a 4-hour run, that's a forgettable thing. Where I remember a couple years ago, the Multiverse of Madness, they were showing like a couple cameos. They ended the trailer with Patrick Stewart's voice, right? So it's like, oh, like there's like a big hook there of you might think about that, talk that with people. Even then, I remember, now this is not a good example because I talked about this, Travis told you, it did bomb, but I remember when I was at my parents' or my in-laws a couple years ago and the Flash trailer came out and Michael Keaton was in it, they didn't know he was in the movie. So like, oh, I got to see this movie. So I just feel like you always want to get something that someone will maybe talk about after 4 hours of different commercials and a game. And there's other things too that come out, and it's just, it's head scratching. I really don't understand it. So I don't know. I'm just kind of a loss for words. And you asked about the leadership. I feel like that's already done. And if anything, I thought the leadership would have been like, you know what, let's save the money. Like, let's not splurge on this yet. Or I don't know, maybe this is a Filoni special, and he's like, I got this really funny idea for the Super Bowl guys, and you're just Kathy's sitting there watching it, laughing her ass off. Now we're tired, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We obviously, how many trailers have we covered in our time here at Geekverse? Hundreds at this point. And, so much, it's like looking at movies and either it, gives so much away, or we critique it because, like, it feels like it's misleading, or there's, like, fan service, or it's, like, baiting you into, like, oh, you want to see this character, come watch this movie, and they're, like, not really a big part of it at all. I do feel like these trailers for it are seemingly pretty accurate to what the movie actually is. Like, it's not some big, huge Star Wars adventure. They're not pitching it as this is the start of the next trilogy. They're not trying to make it seem like it's something bigger than it is. But you still got to do something with it, especially if you're putting it in theaters. But like, if this little teaser spot had ended with like season 4 streaming this day, like I don't, there wouldn't be any difference to me in terms of like what they did here. Like it doesn't feel like a movie that they're trying to promote. It feels like just some little goofy thing. But I will say, one thing I really like about it is it's either they're fooling me, they have really good visuals, or they are doing a lot of like puppeteering and stuff like that. And I like to see that. That's cool from a series that has gone like fully CGI, and maybe they're just making the puppet or the CGI look very puppety and look like some of that old Star Wars stuff. But I thought that was really cool and cute. But I don't know if that's the kind of thing that like people are like, oh damn, I can't wait to see Star Wars puppeteering again. Like I got to get to the theater for that.
Yeah, I think they do have like a practical Grogu, and I'm sure they use some of those things. I remember JJ and company, they were trying to bring some of that back. But that's I think where I am when I watch this, and because I watched that first trailer again just as a reminder. I think it's just that when Star Wars is on the big screen, and now that there's only so many of them, which I think is probably a good idea. I think they showed with Solo, maybe not everyone's wanting a Star Wars movie a year. I think I do want Star Wars to feel big and epic on the big screen. I think on TV, it's like, okay, that can have a bit more of a smaller, like, okay, it's just this assassin Western that's doing mission to mission, right? Kind of like the first season Mando or other stuff, where I feel like if I'm going to the theaters, I want to feel that magic. And even that, the thing is, like, I was surprised by how much I disliked Solo back in the day, because I at least liked, well, I guess even Rogue One, but I'll say even Rogue One, the lead up to Rogue One, it felt like that Star Wars magic was still there, right? I thought those, even with Solo, I thought the trailers were better than this by miles. And I now don't see a world where this is making $1 billion. Like, I just don't think I think there's too much competition. I just don't think like this is what you got for your Super Bowl ad and everything. I don't know. Maybe the next trailer is really going to knock people's socks off, but I just don't see it. And I'm very curious what's going to happen. I'm very curious what happens with that, like the weekend 1 and 2 of this movie, seeing the box office of, and what that kind of affects after the fact, right? Because now, like you said, there is new leadership, and they're in very interesting spots where it's, okay, you have a TV show that's turning into a movie, and then the next year you have Starfighter, which they've said is like completely new. It's still the Star Wars canon, but it's like all new characters, new this, so it's like...
That feels like a very Rogue One adjacent kind of thing, and maybe it will have that same sort of success for them.
But no, still like Vader though, right? Or no, like Death Star. So it is adjacent, but it's still like there's no, hey, look we're bringing this person back. I guess I can already
picture like the marketing of that feeling much more Star Wars-y in terms of showing the hyperdrive and the going through space and, green lasers getting shot everywhere, right?
Yeah, and that's like I don't want to be that guy, because I want Starfighter to be well and then do well. But I, as a person that very much wants that Ben Solo movie that didn't greenlit, I think if they get in a situation where both this and the movie next year Starfighter don't perform, I think they're just going to go back to, which they're already planning on going back to Rey, but like as a company, you can't almost argue. And I wonder if that will be the case. I wonder if there'll be a situation, because I feel me and Taylor have talked with like other people, and I think even on Star Wars Alliance, some of them, they feel this way where it's like, oh, you got to get away from Skywalkers and those sequel movies. But maybe the general, like, I wonder if there's a case where they just want episode 10, 11, 12. They don't want, they were there for Rogue One, but they weren't there for Solo, the TV shows or whatever. Maybe Star Wars is just going to be like, hey, the only way we can do this is we have to make it a concurrent story with these characters. It's not like a Marvel or a DC where it's like, oh, you want to learn about this fish guy? Well, we're going to do a show about him. Maybe that's not the case with Star Wars, and we'll have to see, because Solo was, that was a bit unfair too, because it came out with the same thing as this. It came out in between Deadpool and Infinity War, and also was replacing Harrison Ford. I was one of those guys of like, this guy doesn't have it. So remind
me the release date of the trilogy, Rogue One and Solo. Like what was the...
So all of them were December except for Solo. That was in May, because that's when they were trying to experiment. They wanted to do 2 movies a year. So their idea was, we're going to put one in May and one in December, but then Solo.
Was it Force Awakens and then the second one and then Solo and then the third? trilogy?
It was close. Just put Rogue One in between the first and second movie of the trilogy.
Right, so they really had that 5-movie like package going on there. Because I was gonna say like this movie feels like it could fit really well in a structure like that, where you have a trilogy going on. So you have like these 3 huge movies where everyone's like you're just super hyped and speculating about what's gonna happen next, and then you kind of have like an in between, not even a bridge, but just like something that's a very different flavor of Star Wars. And based off the trailers of this, of like it's almost like the sights and sounds of Star Wars. It's like here's funny creatures doing goofy things, moseying around these planets, not a whole lot of plot, kind of slice of life. And so it feels like it could fit, especially between like 2 big intense trilogy movies that, you know, have a lot of story stakes, have a lot of seriousness, maybe have like a lot of darkness to them as well. And so it feels like it kind of could fit well in that structure. But I think when you have this point where we haven't had a movie in years and we've had a ton of shows, but it feels like even with the shows, like I don't know how many of like the casuals are watching like
the numbers have been
Crew
low in the
or
last couple of
Acolyte,
shows,
or even like Mando 3 and, you know, Boba Fett, and obviously all these things. Like I feel like the only way you could really go from that TV show momentum into like a huge movie potentially is if you rode off that Andor train, because people love that show and it's so critically acclaimed. I don't know what that would translate to in box office numbers, but maybe there's at least a bit more there, where it feels like this is almost too late, I guess. And since it isn't wedged between like a trilogy movie or some other like big Star Wars hype push, it feels like the pacing's wrong. But, you know, maybe in 4 or 5 years, we can look at it and see that maybe all the Star Wars movies after this one are doing really good, and maybe we can look and be like, oh yeah, this was kind of the shot in the arm. This is the jump start. This is us getting back in the theaters, and then they like got their act together to get the gears shifting and make sure these movies are coming out like in a consistent schedule instead of this like 7-8 year gap, whatever it is. So
7 years now for the last.
So that's crazy. And so something had to be that one to kick it off, and obviously a trilogy would be the start of a trilogy would be the easiest, most guaranteed $1 billion. But, you know, maybe this will work. We'll have to kind of see what the just residual hype for, because Mando 3 was what, 2 years ago? 3 at this point?
I just looked it up, 2023.
That's crusty at this point. So that's kind of a big miss as well. Somehow.
Well, that's why I looked it up, because your point when you said it's been like you're like a minute since the movies, and I was like, well, even since the shows, right? And that's where it's like 3 years when you're talking about, oh, could they build to something? And that's where it almost feels like you do like a hot finale, and then like, hey, next year or even a year and a half, maybe 2, you're gonna see a Mandalorian movie. It's going to be a big deal. But 3 years now, and that was in April, so it's going to be 3+ years. So, and like I said, I think that all these companies are just, that's why I love, we've been around now for a decade, and I love this portion of the business side, see what we're doing, because I've said this before, so I apologize to people if they've heard this, or they listened to the Trash Told You, but it's just like, Marvel has like Secret Wars and Doomsday and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, can they recapture and be the big honcho again? DC's like still new. They got Superman and Batman 2 coming out within months of each other, and they're getting bought by Netflix. And then now you got Star Wars, who has a new 2 presidents now, and they're bringing these 2 movies that they're not a big sequel, or not like Rogue One, where it's like, okay, it is on the side, but it's not. You got Vader, and you got Leia, and you got a Death Star. So it's just like, I'm so curious when we get to like 2029, after these like movies have come, even 2028, to see like where the chips have fallen on all these, right? Because it feels like almost all 3 brands are trying to recapture some of the glory that when this podcast started, that they were like, oh, they were running Hollywood, you know, like they were, no matter what, those top 5, it was like because even BVS, for whatever people thought, it made lots of money, right? It was almost a $900 million movie, where DC would have been like, Superman was $600 million, so that's a huge drop off now, right? So it's like, I think they're trying to like put the monkey back in the bottle, and it's like, I don't know, I think you got to do something new, but I don't know, we'll have to see what happens.
Is that a turn of phrase? Put the monkey back in the bottle?
I guess the genie back in the bottle. I think monkey back in the bottle is from Pineapple Express. Okay. When he says that, and Seth Rogen says your response, he's like, I don't think that's even the saying. He's like, and then Frank was like, it's done, man. It's over. You did it. I have to 2 things. Thanks for covering for me, because the door opened and Izzy was gone. I didn't know Izzy took her out, but I thought my dog just walked down, like opened the door from herself, like, I gotta go potty.
Not a very agile dog, so that would be surprising.
That's why I was super surprised I didn't hear like a bang or whatnot. Oh, it's good to see you, man. Greg in the chat. I was wondering about the monkey in the bottle. Yeah, definitely Gino in the body. Is there not a monkey expression that I'm thinking of?
I mean, I think it's monkey back in the cage, right?
Maybe. Okay. So I put the 2, but there you go. You can take that. But Greg, I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you in the chat. It's been a long time since I've seen that logo. I remember like all back in the day, that Batman logo and the Bat Daddy there. So in 52. So hope you're doing well. Dylan, I have to ask you, and if you didn't, it was my bad, and I will talk about the trailer you didn't watch. Did I send you the Adventures of Cliff Booth trailer?
No, and I thought I was missing one. I felt like this is a bit light, Travis. This is all you got for me, so let me watch that right
Okay,
now.
I got the chat.
Maybe talk
I
about
sent
like
it to you.
Adam
Hail Mary is what I was
Hail
going to do.
Mary. I was about to call it Adam Project.
The reason is because it wasn't on YouTube for a while. It was just a Twitter link, so I was waiting for that. It's only a minute, so Dylan's going to watch that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll talk about Project Hail Mary now because Dylan's avoiding that for spoilers and whatnot. So I'm so curious with this movie. This is coming out. I think it's in March. Is it in March? Is it really in March? I think we're getting close. Let me just pull up for a showing here to confirm that. But the reason I'm curious about it is because obviously Phil Lord Miller directed some great stuff, the 21 Jump Street series. They're heavily involved in the Spider-Verse stuff. Funny enough, I guess they were directing Solo before they got booted off of that. But this is, where's Project? Oh, I'm in 2025. Duh, that's not going to help me. But from Taylor and everybody that I know that has read this book, they just say so much stuff about Project Hail Mary of how great it is and whatnot. And I know there's one person that I'm not going to take them to the bank, but what podcaster I listen to that's connected, he's like, oh yeah, I've talked to multiple people. They think this is going to at least be nominated for Best Picture, which to me is crazy. And not like, I'm not saying this looks bad or anything like that. I just haven't seen, I'm excited, but I haven't seen the full scope of it. And I feel like it's a situation where the trailer is hard to convey of what's happening in the movie. I do agree because I remember Taylor said, oh, I'm really surprised they showed the alien. And they show a lot of that in this trailer. So I wonder, I guess as the book reader, you were never shown that and that happened. It looked like that has a lot to do with this and has a lot to do with learning. It looks like a combination of what's the Martian, obviously, but also Arrival, but in like a comedic way. He's trying to talk to it. So I'm very surprised by this. This trailer, I think, was the best one because I think some of the humor in the first two didn't work for me. I do think, and probably good for Dylan, I think they showed a little too much in the last 30 seconds. I feel like I saw the last mission we're doing, but I could be wrong. But the visuals are looking great. The scope's looking great. So I am very excited for this movie because of the reputation, because of Taylor's and others just saying, this book's amazing. And, you know, I like Gosling, I like the directors. That's another movie that I'm just also very curious how that's going to do in March, because right now there's not too much out right now. There is Hoppers and The Bride. That's the first week. There's Undertone, which I'm very excited for. Project Hail Mary, and then Ready or Not, Here I Come. That's different audiences. And not much until, but here's the problem I always say as a Travis told you is not much in March, but April 1st is Super Mario. And we're going to talk about that in a second. I just feel like there's tons of people that will save their money because they know, oh, I'm going to see it with a bunch of my kids. That's going to be a lot of money. So there we go. Yeah, take a listen to it, Greg. I want to do that soon. My plan is I'm doing what you're doing, but for the Odyssey. I'm going to get the Odyssey in audiobook because I never have time to read it. But that's my plan. But yeah, I've heard, Greg, from everybody that's read it, just phenomenal things. I've not met, or even online people, like people just rave about this book. So Dylan, is that are you a day one seeing that? Hail Mary?
Hail Mary?
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to see it in theaters, to be honest. I am very
because
excited.
you're avoiding
for it.
trailers, so I wasn't sure. So
It looks great. I only didn't watch the trailer just because the last one's spoiled so much, and I mean the first trailer had me, and then I saw too much. I am still interested in it, but hard pressed to get me to the theaters these days unless I'm extremely jazzed about it. So I won't see it in theaters, but I'll check it out when it's streaming for sure. Or
it's a
more than
Prime
likely
movie.
I'll forget and then I'll watch it in January in preparation for Golden Geeks.
oh yeah, you know if Kirkland's, that's Taylor's pick automatically, unless it's one of these like book things where they do something really bad for the, oh, this wasn't what it was like in the books and everything. So no, I think if you're trying to avoid stuff, I think that's good because I think this trailer did show a lot. But for me, again, I think that makes sense because this is the Super Bowl trailer. You're playing this in front of a big audience. I think Project Hail Mary needs this way more than Grogu or anything like that. And that's where I think it does have a lot of hooks where people will remember this stuff. And people that will probably forget about the trailer by time they get to it, right? Like same thing with you and Mandalorian Grogu. You saw that trailer a week ago, and this is like one of your jobs, and you forgot about that. So people will definitely forget about some trailers. So I don't think they're as worried as like, oh, they're going to know about maybe this twist or something that happens there. But I think it was a very good trailer. And same thing, that's next month. Like this month is just, it's going by so fast. And even then, like I don't want to. I want to live life, of course. But man, I was saying to Emily, I so much just want to hit the fast forward button on February and get to last week of February. Last week of February, Resident Evil Requiem, and the week after Dylan, WWE 2K26.
Oh.
It's like a juicy time. So I want to get there. So there you go. Greg's like you, not day one, but he's probably going to see it. Yeah, it is an Amazon Prime movie. I think you'll get it to like a couple months after or something, especially if it didn't do well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. So we'll jump over Dylan, to what you saw. So this was not rumored at all, because lots of times you get a lot of, hey, this isn't going to be here, this is going to be there. There is no scuttlebutt whatsoever about the adventures of Cliff Booth, and it is here. Obviously, this is a big change up because Tarantino is not directing it, but he did write the script. Leo's not in this. This is, I can't remember, I think they've said it maybe takes place, I don't want to say 10 years, so I'm going to go 5. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's like there's somewhat of a time jump between Once Upon a Time and Adventures of Cliff Booth. But David Fincher stepping up, who did Social Network and Fight Club and Mindhunter and a lot of other, Alien 3, which we reviewed, a lot of great movies. So obviously it's a change of style though. So what do you think about this? Because obviously you're a Tarantino fan, and I think we all very much enjoyed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is a sequel / spinoff with just Brad Pitt and some new people. You excited? You missing Tarantino? What's going on here?
Certainly looks like a Netflix movie. That's my first take on it. Oh man, it's weird. I guess it's very vibes based, which is good. I like vibes. I like when a movie has like a distinct style to it. This certainly has that, between the very very purposeful music choice. I feel like that really sets the tone here. Are these like white scratch out things going to be in the movie? Or is that a trailer thing?
I certainly hope it's a trailer thing. I know people like style and stuff. Even for the trailer, I wasn't really loving it, to be honest.
Yeah, like, because I'm trying to think of all the instances it's used, but like, is that just to block out like swear words and things?
I think
so. Are no good for a Super Bowl trailer? I'm not sure, but interesting. I mean, because that also a very stylized thing. So we'll see what's going on there. But again, I mean, I feel like, what did we expect from this movie? Probably, I guess like we expected a plot, but I feel like, again, kind of like Mandalorian and Grogu, like low plot, just like vibing out, like weird visuals and stuff. And this kind of seems to be that. So I can't say I'm excited for this necessarily, but I'm extremely curious. Like I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, like I'm definitely checking it out. Like obviously, I think this is a easy review for us because it's gonna be on Netflix, so we'll be there. I'll probably a good time to. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say I should in the public feeds re-release the Tarantino retro, but maybe not. Maybe I'll just do the review because it's kind of weird, right? Because it's not a Tarantino movie. So
yeah, maybe just put Once Upon a Time out.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that. But I think for my this is where I'm at odds with myself, Dylan, is if you ask my Mount Rushmore directors, Fincher, Tarantino, Scorsese, Nolan, that's my 4 for right now, right? So for me, it's just weird that, because I got to bring up this trailer, it looks like a David Fincher movie, right? So that should make me happy. That should be the way it is. Like it has like those dark tones. It has like a lot of, like, even here, this isn't the highest quality trailer, but like those Fincher's known for a lot of browns and greens and stuff. So it's like, look at there. Yeah, like it looks like a Fincher movie. So my example is, so that's what the movie is so far in the trailer, right? I'm going to pull up the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer, and I get it, right? Different director, it's a sequel, so it could be a different vibe. But something about the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer and the movie, which I loved, was that, like, again, this could be different, but the summer, like, bright vibes is that, now that's like this stuff. I like seeing Hollywood in that way, right? And I'm assuming he's still working in Hollywood. And don't get me wrong, I love the Fincher aesthetic. Seven, like, I like that. I just don't know if I like that for what we were getting here. I imagine there could be a tonal shift, but again, it's a situation of some people, like even Cocktail Clay was like, oh, I think this is going to mesh well. For me, I just think it's going to clash a bit of like the style of the writing and the last movie with just even visually, it looks like we're very different.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
maybe
I
when
the subject matter's like darker, grungier, maybe that's like a good fit in that way. I also feel like a lot of the trailers like inside or nighttime, whereas Hollywood's like a very daytime kind of movie for the most part. But you're right, like it is a very distinctly different style for what is supposed to be like a continuity for a specific character. So yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like I like Elizabeth Debicki. I love Yaya. He was great in Wonder Man. Like he's great in everything. Like I'm don't get me wrong. I'm not expecting. I'm just trying to change my mind. I'm not expecting a bad movie whatsoever because Fincher to me is great. I'm just trying to recalibrate my brain of thinking of this as like it is a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood follow up, but it's not like I don't know if it's like it feels like a true follow up. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel completely different once I watch this, and then because I will probably watch them back to back. and even then too, like you brought up, like there's some humor in the Cliff Booth one, but I don't think it's gonna be to the levels of the Hollywood one, right? Because even the big, other than I'd say the barn or like the farm scene in Hollywood, most of it's like there's action, but there's a lot of comedic beats in here. With this, it feels like other than Cliff Booth, it felt like everything else was looking a lot more serious. It feels like he's being, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is like the whole movie and situation is very serious, but Cliff Booth is the comedic note put in there, which is okay. Like I do like Cliff Booth a lot, but it's like, do I like him that much to be very excited? I don't know yet. I'm at odds with myself with this one. I'm torn, Dylan, until I see this thing.
Do you think that in the Golden Geeks of 2027 that Brad Pitt will make it into our nominee list?
So what's interesting when you say with that is because I feel with this, he's going to be in lead versus supporting, right? Where we had him supporting before. And I do feel like the leads are always a bit harder to crack because also we get a lot more sample size where there can be a lot of movies with like a meh supporting cast with the lead strong. I'm not gonna look at first showing and just think about what we have. Because here's the problem: if Doomsday is great, there's like possibly like 3 leads right there. You know, like back in the day we had Thanos and Hemsworth. They both got in for Infinity War, right? I think Downey and someone else.
That movie being very good, not just a fun time in the theater.
That's true. But hey, Greg brings up Tom Holland. Like he could be there for Spider-Man. He's always great. Greg, you did ask when are we in the Spider-Man trailer? I have no. Yeah, right. Odyssey too. Matt Damon. I have no idea when we're getting Spidey because a lot of people thought we were getting that this weekend. I think we could get that next big Sony release. So probably April, March, so something there. But yeah, I'm gonna say
maybe in front of Hoppers or something weird. Like I don't know.
No, that's Disney. I think it could be Goat. You know that movie Goat, Dylan? That's a Sony movie. It's made by the same team that did Spider-Verse. So I'm going to say no to your Brad Pitt question. Okay. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of good, strong leads, and I bet I can hear us all saying this, like, well, it's kind of like what he did last time, right? Yeah. And I feel like we say that when we're in a bungle. I think if it's a week or a year, he could make it in, or if he does something really different. But I'm going to say no. I'm going to throw the question back at you.
I'll say no. I'll say definitely no. I will bring him up. We'll mention him. We'll be like, oh yeah, you got it back.
Contender. Yeah.
But then he'll be like the first round cut. Like maybe that guy.
You got to cut Cliff, right?
Not like his fault, just the fault of the movie. How about this? How about do you think there will be a best scene nomination? Do you think we'll at least get one like extremely spicy scene in this movie that lights us on fire?
I think that's more likely because Fincher's there. Because I
could see that for sure. Like I feel like it's almost more likely.
Like I don't think it made it through, but I feel like even when the year The Killer came out, because did you ever see The Killer?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that scene where Michael Fassbender had to like get a hard drive out of those like drug dealer's house. Remember, it was this like really intense fight scene where he's trying to be, and these dogs are after him. Like I don't think it got the nominee, but we at least talked about it.
Yeah.
So. There's a chance. There's one point in that trailer, which not that I'm worried, but I just don't want them to redo the same thing. Is there's Cliff and there's those 2 guys threatening him, and then he's like laughing. It felt very much like the Manson scene where it's like Cliff's in a dangerous situation and he's just gonna laugh about it. So I will say yes to that. I think there could be some juice in a scene. I think they're scene. Maybe a visual score could be because he usually gets some good people there. But I'm gonna say yes on the scene. I think we get something. Do you think so?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna say top 5, but I think it'll, we'll have we'll have one that someone's fighting for big time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So, yeah, I'm excited. No date on that yet, but I'm very excited to just talk about that because I think it's just because it's not going to harm me, right? If this movie sucks, I still can watch Once Upon a Time. Yeah. Granted, they do something really bad, I guess, with Cliff, sure, but I feel like nowadays, still the older I get, there's some shows now where I like Dexter. I can watch their seasons, but the last time I watched it, I just went to 4 and I stopped. And I thought, oh, this is where the story ends. Same thing I'll talk about on Wednesday. I just watched the show called Brothers and Sisters. I haven't watched in decades. I said to myself, if I ever watch this again, I'm going to stop at 3 because the season 4 and especially 5, awful. And I'm like, why would I subject myself? I'd rather just pretend the story ends here and then I'm more happy. And that's what I can do there and just pretend this is like a fairy tale that like drunken.
That's very healthy. I like that.
Yeah, this is like a fairy tale like drunken. God, what's his name? Rick Dalton. He's just drinking one night and he's just like, what's Cliff up to? And he's just thinking about this is what Cliff is up to. That's what I can
see that
reroute it in my brain. So
yeah.
Yeah, we will see. Another, savant director, Disclosure Day. Also, this was just a minute, but I can't remember if you'd see the first trailer. But Dylan, are you feeling you want to get disclosed this year?
Yeah, I think I saw the other trailer. I think that was also played before Send Help, like a previous
Oh.
trailer. I think, but I like this one quite a bit more. Or maybe it was this. It had like some of the same shots. I think it's always hard to remember, but
Yeah, I think so.
I really enjoyed this trailer as well. Actually, I think one it's almost like the first trailer for Hail Mary for me, where it's like there's so many things I don't know about, and I might also cease to watch more trailers of this. But it got me really intrigued. One just kind of I know we talked about the cast before when we did like our previews and stuff, but to see them in action and just get reminded of them on screen, it's like, oh yeah, the cast was really good here. There were some really good visuals. Some of the trippiness of it, and even just like going back to IMDb and reading like the synopsis of it again, like really fun concept. The sound design was really great. I like the music in here a lot. So I was not like, I guess I was a little underhyped on this, but I remember seeing like after we did our preview and did our top 5 most anticipated, everyone in the Discord was sharing theirs as well, and like a lot of people had Disclosure Day in there. And I was like, I don't know if I see that. But after watching this trailer, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with you guys. This trailer or this movie, I should say, looks really great. So yeah, consider me very hyped for this now.
Yeah, that last shot when it's just a bunch of fog or clouds and it looks like a UFO's crashing through it, that was giving me, I was like, oh boy,
Some Nope vibes going on.
Yeah, I'm ready there. And I think both trailers have done a good job because I feel sometimes the trailer, which I get it, right? With weapons, I think they did this and they were smart. Once they unlocked that, hey, we got these creepy kids running on these camps, every trailer was like, we got to show these creepy kids. And that was smart. It was a massive hit. But I remember that first trailer when it has that moment with Emily Blunt and and she's talking and everything like that. I feel like you could easily spam that in every trailer because it's like a striking moment of this newscaster all of a sudden starts talking alien, right? Like if that were happening in real life, we would be losing our mind. So you could every time, like, hey, make sure that Emily Blunt scene's in there, right? But I like that wasn't in there. You heard the sounds, but it was, oh, let's show off some different scenarios or scenes. Now, like you said, I don't want them to do too much. That could be a case that maybe that last trailer we don't talk about in this cast. I feel like I'm pretty happy where we are. And I guess where I am curious now is the balance it's going to try and strike between, and I guess I'll knock on wood as far as what's real and what's not. But as far as where we are, we know aliens exist and there's stuff out there, but they haven't invaded Earth or they're not doing this stuff like these experiments that we know of right now, at least currently. So I feel like with this trailer and the plot line, it's interesting where you have Josh O'Connor, sounds like he's just doing a very, I don't know, people releasing lots of stuff nowadays, a very modern day thing of, hey, I want to reveal the truth to people, right? But then at the same time, this very high science fiction, maybe science fiction stuff's going on where animals are doing weird stuff and there's just puffs of air moving stuff and there's a UFO coming. So it's interesting where the main plot line seems, hey, I just want to expose the truth and get some stuff out there. That's very realistic of modern day. The other stuff going on, that looks like it's past point. And that's what I'm just curious, is that all happening in unison? Is the timeline maybe a flashback or, a couple flash forwards, or are we just seeing all the stuff that happens near like the end of the movie? I don't know. I am curious about the placing of these scenes in the plot, or maybe it's something where maybe he does like first act releases stuff and it causes it. I really don't know. So I'm getting very excited because I don't love the last decade of Spielberg movies. I love Spielberg, but they haven't just hit for me. I don't think there's anything bad, but they haven't like the way Clay, every time a Spielberg movie's out and he's juicing for it, I want to get back to that, and I'm juicing for this. So I'm very excited. O'Connor's coming off a great couple of years. Like after Wake Up Dead Man, like I didn't love the movie as much as Ewan Taylor, but I loved him in it. So Golden Geek nominee, by the way. So I loved him in it. So I'm kind of down to see whatever he's in. Emily Blunt's great. Colin Firth, I'm kind of down to seeing like a more villainous sort of role. Like maybe not villainous, maybe, I don't know. Like could be point of view. But yeah, I think this movie's it's doing a lot for me, So I'm very excited for it. So
that's a summer release, right?
Yeah, I think it's in June or something like that. I think it's like right before the big honcho. So that's another one. I am on one of the tracks told you this week, Dylan. I'm going to go over what I think could be the top 10 bombs of the year. And I will say that I do think Disclosure's on that list for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, hasn't
just
like
financial.
Hasn't like a lot of his recent stuff just been not hitting much with the
Yeah, and I just also just like I don't know. I just think, like, because Taylor always harps on this, and I do agree with him, where there's all the stuff that's publicly getting released about aliens and UFOs and all this stuff and people don't care. You know, like there's stuff like the government in the last couple of years have physically acknowledged, like, hey, no, like there's been a species in the 90s. We found this body. We don't know what it is. I feel like 10 years ago, Dylan, if that stuff came out, but anything like I feel like when we were in even middle school, high school, if that came out, that would be like, whoa, like they confirmed that. Nowadays, like, oh yeah, cool, on to the next thing. And that's why I wonder, even like, do aliens poll anymore with the general audience? You know, is that a thing? Are they like, oh, I gotta see the next alien flick?
Nope did pretty well, right? And this has
No, it's Jordan Peele's lowest.
but it still did well, right?
Let's fact check this. Let's.
I mean, well, it was also very expensive, so maybe the profit margin wasn't very good on it. But I thought it still.
Let's see here. 68 million, only made 171 million.
Oh fuck, that's way lower than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was kind of the thing
you're
where
right. You're right. This movie's dead. In the water.
I don't. Yeah.
Just put it on Amazon Prime.
That was like some of the
Buried.
rumors of like Peele kind of having some issues with his next movie. And maybe the studio being like, well, like we don't give you that high a budget right now. Like that, you know, that's the problem. You start with Get Out, and that was such a small budget and a big film, and now it's kind of like you're expected to do that almost every time, right? But
That's
so I just don't know.
By the way, good topic. I like that topic. I've saved your Marvel 10 Marvel movies to watch before Doomsday.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't listened to it yet, but that's a good topic as well, so I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Again, thanks Brent for throwing that out there, because I had to give it some thought. And there's one last minute addition I almost forgot about. But speaking of almost forgot about,
Was that the Marvels? Is that why you forgot about it? Because it's hard to remember that movie.
I don't want to spoil it. You'll have to find out. You'll have to find out. Marvels is not on the list. Don't worry. I could find a reason to get that there. But ones I almost forgot were these last two trailers we're going to talk about. We got Michael, which did release the full trailer like a couple days ago, but they put a spot on there. But this was the trailer to like go watch the full trailer online.
Okay.
And we got Mario. So let's start with Michael, and we'll end on Mario because it's a bit more. I don't know. You're not seeing Michael, right?
Oh, absolutely not. No. The only way I'm going to a freaking musical biopic these days is if it's fucking Steely Dan, or else I'm not going.
That's it. There's no one else to get you in the theaters.
Would I even go see a Pink Floyd one?
You would. I feel like, especially they might do some trippy stuff with the movie too. That could be
But
fun.
it would not be cool and trippy. It would be bland and fucking so boring and dry and predictable, like all these movies are. I might still see it, but.
What if it was like, because I'm with S-Bubs, I'm a big proponent of this. Have you ever seen or heard of the Weird Al Yankovic?
That
biopic?
I am into. Yes, I've not seen that yet, but I love that. That's fun. That's fun and interesting and different. Whereas all these other ones are not.
Yeah, where it's like 30% a biopic and then 70% of stuff that's made up. Like in the middle, he's dating Madonna and he's a soldier. Like all this stuff.
That's
I
great,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like Pink Floyd or something maybe would make something like that, where maybe it's not that, but it like telling the story through trippiness, I think could be like a cool gimmick, because these biopics aren't doing it.
Who's coming up with that? And it's getting approved by Roger Waters, who's like the grouchiest guy of all time. He's like 80 and he's like no fun at all. He's not approving that, and he's like, he's got to sign on anything Pink Floyd.
But how did he approve all the other stuff back in the day that was trippy?
Well, because he was a cool young guy who was doing drugs all the time, and now he's just an old curmudgeon piece of shit.
So sadly, maybe you have to wait till he passes. But I feel like you could get like, it's not gonna be Nolan, but that's a good question. Like, who could, let's say they come to us and say, hey, we want to make an actual trippy Pink Floyd. Like, who's like a hot A24 neon director right now that could make that trippy Pink Floyd movie? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, like that. There's a world where that could work out for sure. I don't know if I could peg a director off the top of my head, but
yeah, like I don't know their name, but like you could tap the person who did Color Out of Space, Dylan. Like I feel like they could do.
Okay, I need a higher quality.
Okay, higher quality. I'm trying to think of just even a movie that's been weird.
Something
and trippy.
with really good visuals.
It's not trippy, but the way they tell the story, I feel like Josh Safdie, who broke off and directed My Supreme, I think he could do something.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
Safdies. Give me a Safdies in there. Get Nathan Fielder in there as well as.
Oh
my
god! Yeah, he could play the guy you're talking about. Get him to he can do the he'd be great. No, because I feel like Mario Supreme's not trippy, but like think about the opening credits still, when there's that scene happening, and then they go into the creation of what's happening in that scene.
Yeah,
when some swimming going on, so that's where it's like for me, it's
absolutely.
like that's random to have in this movie, right? I feel like Safdie He could do that, you know.
Like I definitely want a Pink Floyd biopic where they get abducted by aliens and that's why their music is the way it is.
Yeah, and that's how they inspire. That'd be fantastic.
But actually, no, I don't, because then that would bomb at the box office. Well, actually, I don't care if it bombs, but as we just talked about, aliens don't sell, so we need something else, something that would sell.
Yeah.
Maybe like something more mystical, like they get like there's a wizard from space that comes down and
They just go to Doctor Strange route because Doctor Strange is on their album, right? So they partner with Marvel.
Overdrive in Doctor Strange 1, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, they're gonna partner with Marvel, and Benedict Cumberbatch is gonna narrate it, and it's gonna be like one of his journeys, and there you go, you're set. But
yeah.
I will be there for Michael because I am curious how this goes. The truth will be revealed. I know I'm bummed Kirkland's not here because his favorite movie of the year is coming, but. So for this is what I was going to ask you guys because you're not seeing it. Do you think this is going to be? Do you think this one's going to be a hit? Because we've had stuff like Bob Dylan, that movie didn't do well. Springsteen didn't do well. The Bob Marley one. I think I said this on Trash Story where I think Bohemian Rhapsody hit, and all these studios were like, "Oh, we got to make musical biopics." But I think they didn't learn. Like, I think you got to be selective because I think Queen, very massive band with a tragic story, all that stuff. I feel like that's not the same for Elton John or for Bob Marley, which does have a tragic story, but in a different sense. Do you think as a outsider, do you look at this big, oh, I think this is going to work for our audience? Or do you think this is like another, like, oh, this is not looking good. It's going to be in the dust somewhere.
I think it's going to be in the dust somewhere.
Oh.
That's what I mean, I don't know, like,
who
wants to, like, be openly huge, like, oh, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan these days, and I just want to
tons of people.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know. This movie looked so sterile too. Like, and it's not going to be a like actually dark and interesting thing, and going into like the craziness in his life. It's just going to be like very by the book. And if these other ones that actually look like solid movies bombed, I don't know if this one is going to do the trick. Especially when you don't have, like, those other two that you just mentioned, Bob Dylan and Springsteen, huge stars. I mean, maybe, I guess, I don't know how, Jeremy Allen White, obviously, like, the Bear is big. I don't know, he's not proven, like, track record in the movie, getting people to like, butts and seats at the theaters necessarily, but, like, I don't think this movie has any names, really. I know it's got, like, Michael Jackson's nephew.
Jafar Jackson. And Coleman Domingo, both these trailers. Yeah, and even Chalamet. Like, I wanted to look at what that Dylan movie did, A Complete Unknown, because that has Chalamet, who's like on the bigger, like he's in Dune. He had Wonka going on. That made 140 million, so it's doing worse than Nope over there. So
I mean, I imagine it's like pretty cheap movies.
Budget was still 50 to 70 million.
Wow,
Timmy's getting paid well. That's what I'm telling you. Timmy is getting paid. Even Marty Supreme. I remember the budget of Marty Supreme when I heard about it. I was like, wait a second. It's a pink, like this movie, same thing, 60 to 70 million. And same thing.
I mean, it's a pretty bonkers movie. There's a lot going on in there.
You think so? I guess I don't know how everything works, but I just look at them like, I don't know where the 70 million went other than to Timmy's pocket, which go get your bag, Timmy. That's fine. So, yeah, I'll be there opening day. No, Dylan, you'll definitely, because I was somebody that I've appeared on the show many times. I'm not going to say them by name, but I've been on Vodka Stream before with Dave, our friend over there. And there's a guy that I don't know if he's on his panels anymore, but I remember around the time they announced this movie, I made some sort of joke or something like that, and then he went at me a bit on social media. There's people that are very big, much like a left-right situation of Michael's completely innocent. Now, here's my thing. I'm not taking a stance. I don't know what happened there. I'm in the stance of like, man, we can't prove true or false completely because no one's there. There's weird stuff in general, even without the legal stuff. He was just a weird cat, that guy. Like there's just stuff you learn about him. I was like, okay, odd. But there are people, and I'm sure if you go in the comments of that YouTube trailer, that are just, we love Michael. He's an angel. Because you got to remember, at one point, when he was the top person, he was like Elvis levels, right? So I feel like there's people that's been brought down. So I think there's.
How well did the Elvis one do with Butler?
Oh, that's a good. I forgot about
that.
The
I feel like
Elvis
is maybe the closer equivalent. Like if that one did super good.
Let's see. That did 288. So that's bigger than a lot of these other ones we did. Right. So I think Michael can definitely do that. The big one's Bohemian at like 900. That almost hit $1 billion.
Yeah, that's not happening. I feel like this is capped.
Really?
I think this is capped at Elvis, I would say.
Really? Okay. I'm taking the over on that. I think this is a guaranteed 600 at least.
I'm not going to pizza bet it because you know more about these things than I do, but I think I'll say that. I'll put my stake in the ground on that.
I wouldn't pizza bet this one either. I think Maddie's tried to get me to pizza bet, and I just can't
He's
because
trying to bait you.
he has, or a movie bet, which I don't do. I'm a pizza
This
bet guy.
he's flinging pizza bets. I don't know. He's
he
got money to
is.
burn, I think.
Yeah, and to me in this situation, no, I don't think. But here's the thing: I'm on this situation where if you were to tell me, hey, let's say I was in a coma and I woke up and you woke me up, and the first thing Dylan said to me is, "Hey, Michael made $1 billion," I'd say that tracks. Like I would believe you. That's the thing where I'm on that camp where if
What about the first thing I say? The truth was revealed.
yeah. And then you just walk out of the room. I don't know. Like, come on, someone give me a copy of Michael, please. Oh, no, it's not on VOD yet. It's still in theaters. It's doing so well. It's been there for a year. But no, I think if Bohemian almost hit $1 billion, this could. But like you said, it's a very different time. And for the trailer itself, it looks like it's just playing it very safe. So I think what they're doing is it's the two storylines of, can I break off from this group to become my own person? Well, we know the answer is yes, because obviously he outgrows the Jackson 5 and becomes this icon. And then the other thing, which is a true story, like Joe Jackson was a huge piece of shit and treated those kids really poorly. And that has a lot to do, I think, with other stuff that went on Michael.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of those kids. And that's where it's like, and not that I'm excited for that, but like, somehow, like, I think Coleman Domingo, like he can give that performance is what I mean. Like, he's gonna be a guy that, like, I think you can, we've all seen those biopics where it's like, okay, this is the moment of tragedy and it comes off as cheesy or just doesn't play well. Coleman can make me believe, like, screw this guy. Like, I like this guy, he's the worst. So I'm excited to see Coleman. I will be there opening night to see, because I'm just curious. I think, like you said, they won't talk about any of that stuff. I think, and for money wise, it's probably safe to do that. It's like, just tell the musical stuff. And I could see the story, because most of the stuff I feel like is happening pre all those accusations, all the trials stuff. So that's kind of safe that you could be like, hey, we're just going to tell up until when, like, let's say not Thriller, but let's just say like Ghost came out, and then, or not Ghost, or whatever that album is where he's in the fucking house and go, it's not too late. Like, whenever that was, you can do a whole period of chunk there and you're kind of good there. So, and yeah, I agree with you that the actual movie though looks very very kind of bland. Like, it looks just kind of paint by numbers, but sometimes look at something like Minecraft that can make a bunch of money, right? I know Minecraft's different, but like, to me, Minecraft's a very paint by numbers movie, and nearly $1 billion movie, you know? So
True. Yeah.
did I take the bet? Oh, I did take the bet, Dylan. Oh no. We already have a pizza bet going. You need Michael to hit $1 billion. Oh man.
You
Maddie,
win a Billy on this? You win a Billie Jean on this? You're fucking crazy.
Maddie, can you just in the pizza bet at least tag me so I can remember that? I took it. He must have got me on a day. He must have got me. I could see
You're
it.
Fucking nuts.
I could see it.
Did you even put that in your top 10 of the year prediction with Mike?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I did.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and I won in the draft.
At least.
Yeah, I won in the draft, but
Consistent.
Kirkland got it. Kirkland has it in the third spot. So
Kirkland just copied you.
Yeah, he did. The truth will be revealed. And remember, Taylor had his number 1 pick last year. So I could be wrong, but I just, again, Dylan, my other thing is, I think where this could hit, just like with Avatar, just like with Transformers, I feel like the international audience could be huge for this movie. And I think those are people that don't give a shit about any trials or anything that happened. They're just like, man, I fucking loved Thriller when I was this age. And I think he kind of transcends like different languages. So
I mean, hey, I saw a thing you posted the other day, like Devil Wears Prada 2 is apparently tracking really well or something early.
Yeah.
It's like, I thought that would, no one gave a shit about that. So what do I know? I'm just some guy, you know?
It's like the most watched, like, I think, trailer for that studio of this decade or something like that. I don't know. Like, it's people
Okay,
are...
well, now you're telling me that. Now that just sounds like, okay, well,
It's a
if
true
we make the very specific goalpost, then it's
a true statement. It's a
crushing all
true thing.
over. Yeah.
Maddie's in
This
the...
is our highest listened to episode of this hour. Can you believe it? Like, you know, we can
That's
we
a
always
great
spin
stat.
the stats, and it sounds good.
I'll take those stats, you know? Maddie says he can see it being 800 to 900. So see, it's get a little
Maddie,
bump, you know? And that's
chill.
coming out... It's April, so I think there's time. I watch it be big, you know? So, but yeah, we will see what happens. And then... finally, and I threw this in here because we do have a segment. It's not happening tonight. I did kick it in the back because I have some stuff that I want to talk to all three of you about that I talked to Travis told you. But on the town hall, some people brought up, hey, we'd want when people aren't around on certain news topics to catch up on in the past to get their opinion. So it's kind of a good twofer because I threw you the other trailer. We got just a 30-second one today, but then we got a full trailer just last week for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So Dylan, how you feeling on this?
Yeah, I am excited. It's I like the first movie. This is, you know, it's very fan servicey. It's very silly. It's very goofy. It's you know, not taking itself too seriously, but it's throw in a bunch of characters that I have a whole lot of love for. The animation looks fantastic. You know, it's got great music and all that. So it's a popcorn flick, and that's what I expect it to be. I don't think have I ever rewatched the Mario movie. I don't know if I have, but I probably will in anticipation of this. And yeah, fun to see. Like Yoshi seems to be like a huge part of this. So it's like the premise that they like go to Yoshi's Island, they shack up with Yoshi, and then they go to space. Is that like the order of events you think we got going on here?
Oh, that's a good call. Is it Yoshi or then space?
Because like we have the baby Mario sequence, so I assume we're going to Yoshi's Island, even though Yoshi's egg was in the sewers, right? In the first movie, the post credit.
Yeah, why would he be an egg if he already saved them, right?
I guess like the egg, maybe it's like, well, I guess because it's probably like a tube thing. Like there's probably like a tube that connects this sewer to like Yoshi's Island or something crazy, maybe.
Oh, so you think it could just be a different Yoshi, but not the Yoshi, like our main
It could
Yoshi?
be the Yoshi who got like warped there, because there's always warping going on in these Mario games.
Yeah, I kind of had to be reminded. I forgot that the origin of Mario and Luigi is that they're accidentally dropped by the bird in Mushroom Kingdom. Because I always grew up
I
thinking.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I grew up thinking that they were just plumbers that happened to go down these pipes and found this world, but then they retroactively do this is your destiny the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. And then the two other facts, did you know their last names are both Mario, right? Like Mario,
Well, yeah, that's
Luigi,
from
Mario.
the 90s movie that we covered.
Okay. And then they canonize in the games, by the way. So that's like canon.
Okay.
And then also, did you know that they're twin brothers?
Twins.
Yeah. Tia had confirmed that to me last week. And I couldn't believe it.
Huh.
He also, it's a classic clip I'm going to put in the bloopers. He started to explain to me what fraternal twins were, even though I just had fraternal twins. So he thought the girls were identical. He's like, listen to this, Travis. He's like, two A's can do one sperm. They can be different.
Yeah.
He explained the whole thing. Sydney and Valerie, they are fraternal twins. That's exactly what I have. He, for 3 minutes, explaining to me what fraternal twins were. But yeah, they're twins.
Did you ever interrupt him and say, like, I know? Or did he?
I did after. I let him go for a little bit
let
because
him
I'm like,
chatterbox
I got
a
to
bit?
clip
Yeah,
this
yeah.
out at some point in my life. But I did not know they were twins.
Yeah, I guess I never considered that either because they don't look like it, I guess. But yeah, some twins don't all look alike, so that's
Of course
fair.
not.
So I believe it. I just always thought, yeah, Mario's older, a couple years older.
I thought Luigi was older.
Oh, you thought Luigi was older.
Yeah, but
Why
you're
would you
right.
think that?
You're right now. Look at the perspective. Mario should be the older one. I think.
Luigi, the clumsy younger brother type, you know?
That's true. I think I did a stereotype because he was taller. I just went with he must be older. But that doesn't make any logical
Mario
sense.
is wider.
That's true. I guess I just put a lot of stake into tallness because I'm not tall. So I just like, oh, they must be bigger, you know? So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think they get Yoshi. They go to the galaxy. I think it's very smart for them to keep pumping the baby stuff. And I do think, and this is what I'm talking about with
I
the.
don't like that sentence.
Okay,
Pumping the baby
with
stuff.
promoting the baby stuff. I think it's good to be. I think the baby Mario characters.
You're a Yoshi's Island fan, right?
Love Yoshi Island.
Okay, so are you excited for that sequence then?
If we can get a full sequence of him do the and then Mario gets out of the sack and then he's like brah, brah, like a thing from the game where they
In
replay
the bubble,
it.
you mean?
Yeah, in the bubble, and he's
Yes.
freaking out.
I could see that.
Even if it's Sans bubble, that's fine. I do want that. So yeah, I am a fan of Yoshi. I do worry already by these trailers of like I just wonder, as someone that didn't love that first movie, if I'm gonna be Yoshi'd out by the time they end this movie.
Yeah, I mean, in one trailer, Yoshi's like doing the tongue, turning
Yes.
multiple people into eggs. So it's like we've already done that. You do that once a trailer, I think.
My hope is it's just like, hey, Yoshi wasn't in the first one. Let's spam him so people really know. But those scenes are spread throughout. I'm just worried that once Yoshi's in there, he overtakes it. I don't know how I'm gonna. Like, I don't know if I'm loving the whole Toad Yoshi rivalry story.
Is Toad still voiced by Keegan-Michael Key?
Yeah.
It didn't sound like it to me in this. I don't know what changed. Maybe I got to rewatch the first one again and remember like how his voice was modulated or something. But it didn't sound like him for some reason.
He did confirm that just last month because at the Golden Globes he was talking about Mario because I was watching them. So he's still there.
Got it. Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah. So that's just my thing of like that's again in comparison, though, what I think that's just for me. When I was talking about before Grogu, I think if you're going to talk about the same way last year, we see what they're doing. Superman was like, hey, crypto. We got to hit hard on crypto, right? Kids are going to love crypto. I think to a point it worked. Same thing with this. I feel like, hey, we got to hit hard on Yoshi. If you're going to talk about what's going to be like the animal of the spring or like early summer, I think Yoshi's going to win over Grogu as like, oh, the cute new thing. Even though Yoshi's been around for a while, hasn't been in the movies like this, right?
Which
Like
one has more plushies sell in the months afterwards?
easily Yoshi, I think.
So? Okay.
Yeah, I think more people see it, and there'll be like a little bit of a different design. You get Mario riding Yoshi. You can't get a Mandalorian riding Grogu one. You know, like that doesn't exist.
You could have them in the carriage with the alpaca thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, you could, or maybe you do like the reverse where you get Grogu and Mando's back, like the Luke and Yoda thing.
Yeah, because
you know?
there is that one shot where he like hovers onto his back, which looks
Yeah.
interesting. I'll say.
Maybe they did that because we just like, oh, we gotta get the toys. The Yoshi's gonna be ridden. Grogu's gotta be ridden. We gotta get going. So, yeah, I don't know, but I think Yoshi will reign supreme over Grogu, and I think people are gonna get a big kick out of it. I think they're gonna try and minionize him. I think they're gonna try and have Yoshi everywhere.
Do you did you show the girls this? Is there a kid perspective on what
They're
the Mario
hyped.
trailer did?
They've been hyped for a while, but like Nintendo's
Do
still
they
in the
care about
household.
Yoshi?
Yeah.
Okay, why
that
do they care about Yoshi?
Well,
Like, how do they know of Yoshi?
is he's in Mario Party, right? You play
Yeah.
as Yoshi? Yeah, so Yoshi's in there. So they play as
That
him as
makes sense because Yoshi was my favorite as a kid too. I always picked Yoshi in Mario Party.
Yeah, they have him in that. Obviously the end credit for the Mario movie is just like that sticks with you, right? Of like what's next. It was them finding the egg. I'm trying to think what else I've played that has. I think I
guess as a kid, like you just need to see Yoshi once, and you're like, I'm sold. That's
what was
that's
the last
greatest character design I've ever seen in my life.
100%. He's very, and especially too when you learn about the other colors. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay, Smash, because they still play Smash all the time.
Okay.
Like usually right now the big rotation has been Smash or Mario Kart. He's in Mario Kart. I'm forgetting all these games.
Okay.
So yeah, Mario Kart, Smash, Mario Party, and then can't you ride him in Wonder?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he's in there. So that's 4 games they've played that they
Okay,
got him
cool.
in there.
So they're the big Yoshi heads. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
There you go. Mike's with you. Yoshi was always your favorite too. So
Yeah. I dare you to hate Yoshi. You can't do it. It's impossible.
no, I don't think I'm gonna come out of this movie hating Yoshi. I just feel like I just think they're gonna give me. It's when you've eaten some food and you're like, oh, like I could eat some more ice cream, but I'm a little stuffed. But you take that one more spoonful and you go, man, that was a mistake.
Because we're not getting dialogue from him, so it's like he's going to be pretty
No.
one-dimensional, right? He's going to be the Chewbacca of this.
And like I know I'm a hater, but we barely get dialogues at all in this movie, right? Like it's very few, like it's very easy lines here that these characters are saying. You know, like there's nothing. It's just like, yeah, Peach, I'm here to find you, and then it's training session. Peach, my brother's gone, and then they fight.
it's very let's deliver the plot real quick, and then we can move on to the next colorful fun thing.
Yeah, which massive movie. So like,
Yeah, true.
That's fine. So
I like even like the thumbnail shot of like when they're in the desert and they have their kind of like dune outfits. Like, oh yeah, I'm down.
Oh
with
yeah,
that. That's fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what type of setups we get because with the first one, which I get why they did that, felt like they blew their wad a little bit for some stuff. Right? They did Mario Kart. They had some allusions to Luigi Mansion. They did a couple different just like items. Even then, I completely forgot when Luigi gets like the frog outfit. I forgot those from Mario 3. I had to look it up.
Yep.
Because I'm like, oh, they're making stuff up. But that's where, obviously, with Mario, there's tons of stuff to mine. So I'm curious to see what they do. I still think the end credit, I've said this before, I want the end credit to be Mario getting kidnapped by King Boo. Very much do. So you know where we're going. We're going Luigi's Mansion, I think. And we've heard scuttlebutt that they're making that movie. I would love that. Or even if it's just a King Boo-centric end credit. That's what I would like. It's just because the rumor, and I didn't put this in the news, but now there's rumors because they're doing live action Link or Zelda that's filming right now. There's still rumors they want to do an animated one, which I question, but Luigi's Mansion, Donkey Kong, and then last week from a C+ tier scooper, they said that they're kicking tires on a Metroid movie right now. They did not say live action or animated, but you know, I would be down. So
I would be down. I don't know if that's doing numbers.
yeah, so that's why I probably think it's safer. I think it's probably safer to do animated, right? If you had to, like, not saying animated's cheap, but I feel like you'll get more return on potentially like kids see like, oh, it's cool versus like, let's do the adult, like, you know, let's get Sydney Sweeney in this body type suit. And
Put Sydney Sweeney in there for sure.
you know, they're gonna, it's a
Sydney
Super Bowl
Sweeney turning
trailer.
into a morph ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And then just That's what they're looking for. They saw that meme, like you know it's gonna, but like that animated would still be safer, I think, right? For Metroid on a success rate,
I think so.
because like Ripley, the dragon,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
or Ridley. Sorry, not Ripley.
Ridley,
yeah. I confused with the other big, lady in the space.
Fair.
From Alien,
I don't blame you,
Ridley.
yeah.
The suit, even the ball thing, like there's a chance they do that and that could look really poor in live action, right? Like an actor and doing that.
Yeah.
Or is it that's the other thing too. Is it a Tom Cruise gets cast as Iron Man situation? Is it, hey, we got Sydney Sweeney, but she just wants her face to be shown the whole time,
Yeah, but then you for the marketing, you put her in like the blue like Zero Suit Samus suit, and then like that's all the fans need. They just need a couple gifs of her on the red carpet, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you see, I would love them to recreate, because there's going to be some kids that wouldn't know. I would want them to do it animated and have them not take Metroid's helmet off until like the third act, and then people have the same thing that we had as kids, like, oh, it's a girl. Any kids that didn't know, like, oh, it's a girl, something like that. That's what I'd like. But
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wonder also if it was a development because that new game came out, and I wonder if they thought it was maybe going to cook a little more, and it didn't. Because if you already have Luigi Mansion, DK, and then Zelda, where would you go next, Dylan? Let's say if you don't think Metroid, if they're like, hey, Dylan, before you're done with this cast, what's the next Nintendo franchise we should do? That's not Pokemon, because that's iffy.
Yeah,
We don't know if we
count.
can use it, right?
I'd maybe go Animal Crossing.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right.
Just
as an animated,
kid, funny, goofy, slice of lifey thing. I think that could do numbers.
No, you're absolutely right. That Animal Crossing is definitely the way to go. I think you could you could easily pull at least $500 million. I'm saying easily too, like in its sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So Metroid won't get the anyone but you housemaid audience. No, I think you're right. I think
is Housemaid out yet, by the way, or is that yet?
Yeah, both. It's in theaters and on streaming. It did, or VOD at least. Did really well.
People seen it?
I haven't seen it. Me and Emma are gonna watch it. I was spoiling some stuff, but we're gonna watch it at some point as like I guess, cheesy movie and stuff. But Mike, you're probably right. It's not the same, that romantic audience, book audience, but I'm just trying to think of who would they just try and get as like we need a very good looking female, put her in there that's blonde. I guess you can dye anyone's hair is blonde, but or maybe maybe you could get Sweeney, because like that could be an easy role. Imagine if they're like, hey, we are going to keep you in the helmet for 90%. You just got to come in for like a week and shoot some stuff, and you're Samus. And like, she, oh, great, cool.
I wonder if she would be down for that. Yeah.
Paycheck probably. I'm gonna just look at Nintendo franchises. I want to pick someone other than Animal Crossing to change it up here.
Yeah.
All of them are like Mario Kart, Mario. You know what? The way I don't even. Okay, here we go. I got a good.
I don't
picture.
think a Kirby movie is the way for that.
I don't think so. I think Kirby, the treatment you could do with him is the Donkey Kong thing, where you introduce him first in that world in a Mario movie, see if people like it, and then go, we're going to go to Kirby. Again, as much as I don't play this franchise, I think the answer would be, especially because anime's been killing it, do Fire Emblem. And that's one where you could do, Dylan's not liking it, but think about anime. These movies have been doing really well. I think the same thing. Do it in like an anime.
What is the anime movie that's done the best at the box office?
I know like Demon Slayer did really well this year, last year, or something like that.
How well did it do? Let me see.
I think it did well enough. I don't know. Mike's saying Kirby. So definitely not ARMS. We're not doing that. Splatoon, we're not doing that. Pikmin, we're not doing that.
Okay, you know what? You're right with Demon Slayer. That
what did it make then?
Whoa.
Yeah.
But almost 600 million was international, but I guess that makes sense for that.
That's all you need though, right? Like that to me is like, that's what I'd say. Yeah, Demon Slayer was the top 10 of that
just
year.
like kind of small still. I don't think it's I don't
it
think that
doesn't
would
pull
do
those
their
numbers
I don't think that would
sales-wise?
I mean, I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. I would see that for sure. I just don't think that would do. I mean, if Lord of the Rings came out with an anime movie and it tanked, I don't know if Fire Emblem's doing much better.
Yeah, but like Lord of the Rings has been getting consistent content for years, like Fire Emblem at least, though, right? And that was like, it was like adjacent. Like, look, here's a bunch of Switch brands or Nintendo brands. I don't know if it's all of them, but now looking at this, other than your pick of Animal Crossing, it might make sense why they're like, let's do Metroid next, because like I kind of agree. This list obviously if you're asking Travis, I could pick anything. Star Fox is the dream. I want Top Gun with Star Fox.
Yeah,
Do
that'd
that.
be fun.
But after that last game and everything, I don't think that's happening. But like, and all these are just like adjacent, right? Like
Pikmin
Mario
would
Golf.
be fun, but that they're not gonna. I mean, they did because Pikmin's an interesting one because they did that recently. They had like that, that just short film thingy, whatever. That they just dropped on YouTube. They had like a
Right.
2-part Pikmin thing that they just randomly did. So I mean, if anything, that's like a hint of like maybe they were thinking about it, but I don't know if that translates to full movie.
It could work, but in that, if you were pizza betting me about Fire Emblem versus Pikmin, I'd still pick Fire Emblem doing better than Pikmin in my opinion. I think there's a chance the anime crowd like finds it and they like, oh, I love
What
this.
about a biopic style Punch Out?
On Little Mac?
You get Jeremy Allen White as Little Mac.
No.
You get
Little
Coleman
Mac's not
Domingo as
Caucasian.
right?
He's. I still got the Little Mac that right there.
I feel like Jeremy Allen White is short, but I don't know if that's true.
Is that a Caucasian looking fellow though, Little Mac? I don't think so.
I don't know. It could be like Hispanic. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with him.
Get Bad Bunny. You know, they took. He's
He was
hot
on
right
SNL.
now.
He can act a little bit, right?
He's on SNL. Just do
How
Super Bowl.
tall do you think Jeremy Allen White is?
5'10", 5'11".
I as a Canadian, I should know meters, but
What?
5'7", so he's kind of a
He's
short
shorter.
king.
He's short. He's shorter than me. Whoa.
Yeah, he's a short king, so he could be Little Mac.
okay. What? Okay. Oh, so it has to be someone short. Bad Bunny. What's Bad Bunny's height though?
Well, Bad Bunny's like 6'4". He's huge.
Is he actually? No. Is he
He's the one who
6'4"?
just watched him on TV.
It's on a stage. You never know. And he's wearing a big outfit.
Bad Bunny is 6 foot,
Whoa! He's a monster.
and I feel like
Look at him.
he wears like platform shoes. I don't know if that's true.
Okay, well, I think, Dylan, what we're going to do here, it's going to be like a Wolverine situation. We're not going to go for the height. It's going to be, we're getting someone that's 6 foot.
Who's got black hair? Who's good?
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. I'm telling you. And think about this, Dylan. Remember at one point when he was cast in El Moreto, the Sony Spider-Man wrestler movie? Remember? He was going to be that villain, El Moreto.
Bad Bunny is not a good pick for this. I don't think
He know why I think it would be is because I want to be super over stylized, like the way what's that movie everyone loves that Scott Pilgrim. I want the biopic to be that where it's a drama, but when they're fighting, it's
Comic
crazy
book-
stuff going on.
comic
You see,
booky, yeah.
so that's my pitch: Little Mac, Bad Bunny, and watch it be a billion. And he can do
Are you
original
saying
songs.
Bad Bunny like Jake Sully, or does he say it like that or something?
People say it like that,
Okay.
and I like it. Bad Bunny. I think they're trying to do an accent, but it also seem racist. So I think that's why it's like it's not the exact thing. But for me, you want, and he'll make an album for that, Dylan. He'll make an album, the Bad Bunny Little Mac thing. You know, come on, that's money right there.
Maybe it would be money, but I feel like we've ventured far from Punch Out at this point.
That's fair. I'm just saying you want this to be a success, but other than that, like Kid Icarus, no. You want
No,
Nintendo to have their first bomb? Put Icarus on the big screen. That's it.
What about I don't know if this is just Mario, but what if they did a Wario movie?
Same thing has to be the DK style. Get him in there first, and then the
Yeah, 'cause
spin-off.
we haven't seen him yet, which feels weird, but I guess that.
Yeah, I
You think
feel
we're
like
about to see him? You think he's coming? They would have shown it off, right?
I think they're saving him and Waluigi for 3. I think they'll be the new bad guys here. So I think because you're gonna get Bowser Jr. here with Bowser, so I think I could see them being the bad guys, and then at the end of the movie, they're like, "We're still family," and then they're like, "Let's go see what we're doing." Or I could also see a situation where Wario's the bad guy and Waluigi's safe for the Wario movie. But I think Wario, you could do tons of fun like Deadpool type of marketing.
Yeah.
So
What
Chainsaw
about
Man
a
2,
1-2 switch movie?
no, I want to switch that off. Is what I'll do. You know.
Ew.
Labo, see that. But yeah, that's the thing. Like they really just gotta spam the Nintendo stuff. Like when I see that title right there, Yoshi, they probably have a better chance of if you were to say, hey, we're gonna make all these movies like Yoshi versus Metroid, Yoshi versus Pikmin, Fire Emblem, like Yoshi's gonna do better than them all. So why would you not just make a Yoshi movie? You know? So
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Monkey Ball ain't getting the green light, Mike. There's no way. Unless you got Bad Bunny voicing one of the monkeys, there's no way it's gonna Monkey Ball's happening. Not
I
happening.
could see that. I could see it happening. You Get a bunch of because what's that? Was that like DC Super Pets? Did that do well at all? Because I feel like that's
Nope.
got like a monkey ball vibe to it.
No, it didn't do well.
Oh, okay. Well, I take it back then.
Yeah. Do you think there's any to end this conversation? I think these trailers are fine. I'm excited to see it with the kids. Do you think there's any chance they could try to work that out with Pokemon and be like, hey, like, we got to get you guys in? Because we have heard these rumors, right? Like, they do want to do like a Smash Bros. Like crossover. I feel like they got to sit down with the briefcases, with the suits, with the counselors and be like, hey, let's like Sony and Marvel did a long time ago with Spider-Man being in the Avengers. We can make a lot of money together. How can we crack this? I feel like in the next 10 years, it's going to happen. I feel like I'm confident saying that.
Yeah, it just gets so tricky because like Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and how like these things are not all intertwined, like they're connected, but they're not all just under the one simple company. And then you combine that with Illumination and Hollywood, and like it must be just whoever is the contracts must be just you got to chop down a fucking rainforest in order to write those contracts. That's how complicated it is. So I don't know. That just seems like so many steps removed. I mean, obviously if they do it. Fuck, $2 billion movie. Why not? If you get Mario and Pokemon in a movie, even if it's just those two, if it's Smash Bros, but it's literally just Mario and Pokemon,
that's the poster
that
for
alone,
sure.
I mean, that's like the Marvel. That's like the fabled like Mario versus DC or Marvel versus DC movie that we've joked about a couple times. But if they ever actually did that, both companies would be swimming in money. So they should make it happen. Like I said, it's extremely complicated. I'm sure to make it happen.
Yeah, to me, that picture, you saying Mario and Pikachu in the poster, that's like me when I say whenever we're going to get that poster of Hugh Jackman and Toby, and I feel like that's a guaranteed $2 billion, that's Mario and Pikachu. If you get that going, that'd be almost a good way to do it. Like, wait for Smash, because that's like makes a bigger feel. And then if it works out, then it's like, okay, we'll make more. And then if it doesn't, okay, it was a one-off. It was fun for Smash. That about it. Oh, Chris Pratt's going to voice Mario and Pikachu, Mike? I don't know if I like this, but Dylan, I think I finally got the answer for we're
Sydney Sweeney can play Pikachu.
Voice or play?
She can do the mocap, and she can do
I was going to say, yeah, people are going to...
I want to see that video.
Yeah, I finally got the answer. This is a throwback to a old school GV meme, Dylan, but this is what they got to do as a movie. The wonderful 101.
Yeah.
Do you remember this meme at all? I used to bring this game up all the time on like the first years of Geek First.
Who would you cast as the lead blonde guy?
Chris Pratt right there.
No.
And then in the pink is Sydney Sweeney. And in the middle, that can be David Del Smotchen, because he's always good at playing those weirdos. So,
and then the creepy guy with the claws on the right, that can be Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Andy Serkis. That big guy. I got to get a big guy for the green guy. Hey, who could be...
Someone who has like a nice, happy... Who's that guy who is like the mole rat in Fantastic Four?
Oh, yeah. What is his name?
You love that guy. Jeremy Hauser or something?
Walter Hauser, right? Something like that. Jeremy Walter, but yeah, I do. He is really good.
Yeah.
that is a good pick though. Jeremy Walter Hauser, and then Bill Hader can voice the little robot in the back there.
Yeah, Bill Hader.
Yeah, for people that don't know, I can't remember, because this was a game I remember. It was, I think, one of my first call outs of that's going to be a bomb. I'm not saying it was a big one. Paul Walter Hauser. Thank you very much, Superman Mike. Paul
There's
Walter
a Paul
Hauser.
in there? No way. I thought it was just Walter Hauser.
No, Paul Walter Hauser. It wasn't a big call out, but I just remember them pumping this game a lot at like directs or E3s and just being like, this game's going to bomb. And it did. I've never touched this. For 2 years, I would bring this game up all the time on Geek First. I should at one point before I die, maybe even on Geek First stream. Like, is it even multiplayer? Is it...
I don't know anything about that game. I mean, I assume it's like a third-person, like action, like a Bayonetta style game.
Yeah, let's see. The multiplayer is a crucial mechanic for maximizing your score. I think Dylan what is this game going for nowadays?
Well, do I really care about maximizing my score, or do I just want to have fun?
Well, yeah, that's what we're gonna have. Let's see. Can you buy? Oh, you can buy it for the Switch, not Switch 2. You can buy it currently for. Are you fucking kidding me? For $50, Nintendo. I know we talk.
Is that USD or Canadian?
It's Canadian, but still, like, I know we talk about how they don't drop their prices for their game.
You buy it twice and still have a little bit of money left over instead of buying Donkey Kong once.
Wonderful 100 for this game that bombed in the Wii U era. 50 bones. We could give some press. I was literally going to pitch it. Hey, I'll buy this game, and in the wee hours, Dylan, let's play Wonderful 100
put it on
together.
I don't think I have it on my wish list on Switch, but I'll do that, and then maybe that's when they put a deep discount on. Every once in a while, they do that for the
Let me know.
Neglected children of the Nintendo universe.
Just like the Punisher stream, I would love to do like the wee hours. Finally, bust open this meme, but
Play
there
it
you
for
go.
7 minutes, and then like,
Oh, that sucked.
Like the fucking Punisher game.
Or you're just sometimes too tired. Like I was so I'm gonna do it again this year when I was more awake. I was so hyped to play Battle Mill Earth because the game was so slow. I just passed right out. Like I wasn't playing it, but I think it was Kirkland or you, and I was so hyped with the music. I'm like, oh, do this, and I just took that moment to sit down. And then like, oh no, because it's a slow moving game, and I was like, man, like I was so hyped to play that, and we finally did. So like, I want a rerun of that sometime when I'm like juicing on some.
That game. Nah, that was not our best segment for sure.
Yeah, what I want to do, I think, before the stream is I think I want to play some of the story again because I think then I'd have a better idea of
the controls were extremely cryptic to try and figure out in the moment for sure.
Yeah, because I remember I feel like with the main story I did that and then it was easy. That's what I want to do. So then when people ask me a question, oh, just do that. Oh, do that. But that's it. We have done it. We've talked about Super Bowl trailers. Nothing too big, but there's some fun stuff. I thought Mandalorian and Grogu was going to be bigger. We got what we got, but I think the Super Bowl trailers are kind of calming down a little with them getting so expensive now for these companies to do it. But nonetheless, Dylan, I think this was a fun cast. We had a couple tangents that we went
Very
on.
much so.
And I'm saying we talked about the Cliff Booth thing because that was a surprise. So. We will be back, I guess, tomorrow, Dylan. We'll be back with SideQuest talking some games. We'll be back for Weekly Geeks. Like I said, a big Plasma Boys week. So subscribe. I forgot to pimp it all. I'll shout out the Patreon producers. Superbad Mike was in the chat, so shout out to you. Aaron Brain, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, a.k.a. Norman Rios Fetus, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, Sam Green, and John with an M. I should put that there.
Paul
but
Walter Hauser as well. Thanks.
I didn't even throw it up there. Great. But thank you everyone for supporting. We got tons of stuff as we just talked about coming to Patreon already on there, but tons of stuff throughout the years and a bunch of tiers. Ad-free episodes, calling after 9, early episodes, vote on polls that'll be important for Geek First or Golden Geeks. The voting's happening there, so lots of good stuff. That's the best way to listen to Geek First. Best way to support us. We appreciate it. We love you. Thank you very much. Me and Dylan will be back a bunch of times this week.